It's time for the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole, the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty, serving you throughout the Triangle, teaching you about the ins and outs when it comes to buying or selling a home. You can find the team online by going to acolerealty.com. That's A-C-O-L-E realty.com, or by calling 919-578-3128. That's 919-578-3128. And now it's time for one of the top realtors in the Triangle, Angie Cole, and the Savvy Realtor Podcast.
Angie, in this segment, we want to help folks just start the selling process. Maybe whatever reason, maybe your family's growing, maybe there's a job change, maybe you're downsizing, maybe you've been in that big home and you want a smaller home that's a little easier to manage, less backyard. For whatever the reason, we want to help you start the process of selling a home. So you've decided we want to sell, you've made that crucial maybe first step there, and now the answer is, where do you start? So we've come up with this list, and the very first thing we would encourage you to do after saying, hey, we want to sell, is find a real estate agent.
Most definitely. I met with a for sale by owner this past week, and they tried to go the route of listing on their own. And it was funny. One of the very first things that they stated to me, they said, you know what? We really quickly realized in this market that people don't like us when we have our home listed as a for sale by owner. And I said, what do you mean? They said, it's just not as common in this area. And it just really sets people back. Like they're not open to engaging in conversation. We really realize that people want to work with a real estate agent, and they want to make sure that the seller is being represented by a real estate agent. And because it shows that, the seller is motivated to sell, right? They're going to take the advice of an expert, and they also are not going to be as probably difficult to deal with throughout the process and unrealistic as far as pricing goes. So finding a real estate is definitely number one. When looking for a real estate agent, you want to make sure that it's someone that you can trust, someone that communicates effectively and also has the experience and savviness. Love how we threw in savvy, right?
See what we did there.
To navigate you through the process. When I met with these for sale by owners, they had their home, and I won't even tell you the kind of range they were in, but so overpriced by almost double the amount of where we should really truly be listed. But I came in there and I did my job and I educated them and I was honest with them. So you want to make sure that you have a real estate agent that not only, communicates effectively and is going to do an amazing job for you, but they tell you the truth, right? You want them to be open-minded. You want them to be real with you, because if they don't, they're just doing you disservice. You're only going to be frustrated and irritated with them in the end. So number one step is find a real estate agent, which of course, Angie Cole with A. Cole Realty. We would love to be your real estate agent.
Of course. And if you have questions about that, if you just want to get a little bit of information from Angie and the team, you can call or text 919-538-6477. Just shoot them over a message. Now, step number 2, you've decided you want to sell, you found your realtor. Now it's time to estimate your home's value. That's different than setting the listing price. We'll get to that in a second. But before you can set that list price, you have to figure out what your home is worth.
Yeah. And the way that we go about doing that, so first of all, you should have had the real estate agent who is giving you guidance on this, because, everyone feels like their home's worth way more than what it's truly valued at, unfortunately. But sometimes it can be a pleasant surprise and we can give you some good numbers. But when we estimate your home's value, that's where we pull together comparables. And, when I do it, I'm doing exactly what an appraiser would do. So I'm looking at homes within your neighborhood or nearby. We then will look at similar square footage, similar age, and similar style. I then never go more than a year in closed sales. Reason being, again, we have to look at real-time data. So from there, I will walk you through the comparables. I'm going to show you or explain to you all about the condition, about the interior features, how it directly, relates to your home. What are the differences? What are the pros? What are the cons? From there, we can estimate the value of your home. And that's definitely, normally most people, that's where they want to get started. And that's okay if that's kind of the most important thing to you is estimating the value of your home, before you even want to speak with an agent, you want to know, well, what is my home worth? And we have a great feature that we would love to share with you, and it's a home valuator. So if you are thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of what your home is worth in today's market, you can do that from your smartphone. So just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. So once again, on your smartphone, if you're thinking about selling your home and you want to get an idea of what your home is worth, we were just on step number 2, estimating your home's value. Just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888. And from there, don't stop. You must, what's going to happen is our team, we're going to send you back a text with the link. We need you to click that link and input your address. So from there, we can give you an idea of what your home is worth. So once again, just text the word listing to the phone number 555-888.
That's the word listing to the phone number 555-888. Just put that word listing right there in the message field. Send it to the number 555-888. Angie and the team will send you back a link. You can input in your information. We'll go to that link, of course, put in your information, and you can find out what your home is worth. You can do that before really any of these steps, honestly. Of course, we're going through the list, and it's step number 2, but you can do that before even reaching out to an agent. Just put in the word listing to the phone number 555-888. Send it to that number. Find out what your home is worth. Text the word listing to 555-888. All right, we've decided we want to sell. We've found an agent. We've estimated our home's value. Now it is time to set the list price of your home. This one's really important.
Yes, super important, because we want to make sure that we price it and set that list price exactly right. And definitely make sure that you're leaning on the guidance of your agent, because that's our job, right? We have the expertise in knowing and guiding you on the right list price. You want to make sure when you list your home, or list the price of your home, you don't overprice it. Because if you end up overpricing your home, you will end up chasing the market. So what that means is your home will sit on the market longer, so your days on the market will increase. And then we would need to come to you and say, okay, we're not seeing great traffic. We now need to make a price reduction. Then another price reduction. That's called chasing the market. And in the long run, if you overprice your home from the beginning, long term, you actually will make less net than if you would have priced it right, just right out of the gates. We don't want to underprice your home either. You know, some people think, well, should we kind of play the market and underprice my home? So then I'll get a lot of showings, I'll get multiple offers, and we'll go well above list price. Well, you know what? What if that doesn't happen? What if we don't get multiple offers? More than likely, that one offer you get will want to negotiate with you. You can't expect to get above list price if you have one buyer on the table, right? So pricing your home right as soon as we go active and on the market, because that's when it's getting the most exposure. It's hitting all the automated searches. It's getting blasted all over social media, MLS, Realtor.com, Zillow. You know, we want to make sure that we are setting the list price correctly for your home. And that's once again where us at A-Cole Realty, we come into place with educating you on your list price.
Yeah, I think this one is huge. Of course, everybody wants to get the most bang for their buck. Everybody wants to sell and get that $500,000 sale, but you have to be realistic. It all just depends on where your home's located, how big it is, all these different factors that go into play. And that's really why we encourage you, before you even set that list price, to find out the value of your home and then stick to that. Set accurate expectations along the way. One more time, you can text the word listing to 555-888 if you want to get an idea of what your home is worth. That's the word listing to 555-888. So find out what it's worth, stick to that, set your list price, be realistic. Once you've done that, we are on to the next step of marketing your home. And marketing your home is, well, it's also just incredibly important. Your strategy is huge there. You want to work with a realtor who knows what it takes to successfully get a home marketed. We talked earlier about that realtor who did all these wacky listing strategies, but it really is. It's important to just stay up to date on social media and whatnot to get your home successfully marketed.
Yeah, most definitely.
So we're going to be marketing our home throughout the process, and as we do that, we're also going to be preparing our home to sell. That could mean a lot of different things depending on the condition of your home, What should that look like, Angie?
Yeah, most definitely. So that's part of our process when it comes to kind of our preliminary marketing plan for you. And that is bringing our stager through, right? So we have an amazing stager, Amber, with stage presence, and her job and her role is to come through. She'll go room to room. She'll take notes. She'll email those to you, and they're suggestions. Now, they're amazing suggestions, so we ask that our sellers do as much as possible because she truly knows what is needed and what type of changes, improvements, what type of general freshening is needed to the home in order to get it market ready, to get it show ready so that the pictures will look fabulous and people can really vision themselves as they are touring your home to potentially be the buyer, right? The new homeowner of your home. So we get our professional stager in there to give you guidance. You know, there's always things like decluttering, depersonalizing. You know, really, I always say it makes you feel like you don't even live in the home whenever you are getting it market ready. But you know what? That's what gets the home sold. So, you know, making sure that you prepare your home before we go live into the market is very, very important. And that's why we have our professional stager that will come through to give you that feedback that you need.
Always important to stage your home. I think that's something folks sometimes neglect if they're not careful.
Yes.
I mean, some of the photos you see online are just no-nos, is all I know to say.
So bad. You know, but you need to remember, you know, probably, and I don't know the exact percentage right now, but I bet around 98% of buyers are finding their home online. The internet is what's selling homes, marketing on the internet. And when buyers are looking for a home, they are just thumbing through those pictures, right? And if the pictures don't show great, they go on to the next home. So making sure that your home visually shows well is very important in order to get that traffic, because we need showings to get you an offer. So make sure that you do take the feedback and the guidance from the stager, do those items, do that checklist to get your home show ready and prepare it for the market.
Now, assuming you've done all of these steps, you're probably going to get some offers on your home, and you need to negotiate a little bit. Find the best offer. Don't just settle for the first one that comes through the door. What does that process look like, Angie?
Sure. One thing I always tell my sellers, it's not 100%, not always this way, but typically your first offer is your best offer. And I say that because normally the first offer that comes in means your home's been on the market the least amount of days. So then if we rejected that first offer, the second offer that comes in could be 10 or 15 days later. Well, now your home sat on the market longer. And so buyers, they only feel that your home must be overpriced or it would be sold. So typically the first offer would be your best offer. Now, not always, but you know, that's something that we need to negotiate. For example, yesterday I was negotiating with one of my sellers and we gave one response to the buyer on the opposite side. They came back, they countered us. My sellers then said, okay, accept. And I said, oh, no, we're not accepting.
Not quite yet.
Nope. And she's like, okay, you know, we'll take your guidance. And I said, let me get you a couple more thousand. Went back, and then the buyer accepted, right? And so it's really, you know, you really need to have the confidence to be able to depend on your real estate agent to negotiate on your behalf. You know, it's important to know when you should give a little or maybe when you should stand your ground, right? You want to, I mean, money's something you want to keep in your pocket. So you need to know, you know, when to wiggle, when not to wiggle. Communication and, you know, timeliness of a response is very important during this process as well. I have seen deals that have completely just went south because a seller was dragging their feet.
Wow.
And so what that means is you receive an offer, but you're trying to almost play the system. You want to hold out for better offers. Well, remember at any point that buyer can pull back their offer and now you have nothing on the table. But once again, I give you guidance, right? Our team gives you guidance on, you know, when do we need to respond? Let's keep this conversation going. But just be careful on dragging out the process too long of the negotiations because it can really, really hurt you. And then you end up with no offers. Remember also to evaluate the offers beyond just the bottom line dollars. So what that means is maybe we have a home that's listed at $250,000, you know, and you get an offer that's $250,000. Well, what if after we go through the contract, we see that there is a 120-day closing date? Ooh. They're offering no due diligence. Ooh. They also want $10,000 in closing costs. Mm-hmm. So we thought it was a full price asking offer, right? But that's not such a great offer.
A lot of caveats attached to that. Yes.
So there's more that comes along with just looking at, you know, the price or just kind of like, you know, the dollar amount. Is there personal property they're asking for? What's the due diligence timeline? What's our closing date? What type of good faith are they putting up front? How about funding as far as financing goes? What are their loan terms? So there's a lot that comes along with negotiating the offers. And, once again, as A-Cole Realty, as we are representing you, we will give you that guidance to make sure that you are, getting top value for your home and you're moving forward with the best terms and offer that would work for you and your situation.
Now, Angie, once your home goes under contract, you've accepted an offer. In a lot of ways, a lot of those same principles apply, right? You have to stay sharp throughout that process. I think a lot of folks take a deep breath and say, all right, the sale is done, but it's not done until it closes. And there's a lot that happens between contract and closing date.
Yeah.
And you got to stay sharp throughout that process.
You're most definitely right. Now, we always tell our sellers, we never want you, sellers and buyers, but, let's not be anxious, okay? That's our job, to take control of the process and to make it seamless and easy for you. But do remember that although we've just negotiated a price so you know where your bottom net currently is at, that you're not done. So what that means is typically the buyers will do their due diligence. They'll more than likely order a home inspection, a pest or termite inspection. They'll just do whatever they need to do with moving forward with your home. But at that time, even though the North Carolina offer to purchase reads that a home's being sold as is, it's kind of understood that both buyers and sellers will be reasonable when it comes to repairs being made. So we're negotiating again, right? And so that's why we're saying, don't ease up right before the closing. We're not quite done because we need to get through that due diligence process. A lot of people take a deep breath once a home goes under contract, like you mentioned, and they just think, okay, we're finished. But, buyers have the opportunity to walk at any time. Hopefully they don't, but we want to make sure that we are responding again in a timely manner. We're keeping the process moving forward. And that's where our team comes into play as far as negotiating again for you and your best interests to make sure that we then can get to that closing table.
Once you're at that closing table, the final step, of course, and maybe the most important of all of them, celebrate, enjoy it, have a little fun. Congratulations. You have made it through the selling process, and hopefully your agent has helped you to navigate the ins and outs of that process along the way. And that's really why Angie Cole and the team at A-Cole Realty are here, to help you through that process, the art of negotiating. We talked about that, all the strategy that goes into marketing your home, helping you set realistic expectations, and then just communicating with you along the way. Anything that comes up, anything unforeseen, they want to be there for you. If you're looking to sell and you want to start that process, like we said, it all starts with finding an agent. All you have to do is reach out to Angie and the team at A-Cole Realty by calling or texting 919-538-6477. That's 919-538-6477. You can call or text that number, get answers to some of your questions, and just start that process of selling your home or buying as far as that goes. We talk about that a lot on the show as well. So you can call or text, reach out to A-Cole Realty, call or text 919-538-6477. This is The Savvy Realtor with Angie Cole. It's time for the mailbag. We want to hear from you. Trish, who is in Holly Springs, she writes in and says, how big of a deal is it to buy a home in a good school district? Will it hurt my resale value down the line? I don't have kids personally, so it's not an immediate concern, but this won't be my last home either, so I'll likely sell in a few years.
Yeah, Trish, it is important. You have to remember that school districts, they really have there's a direct correlation between the school districts and the prices of homes, right? And the reason being is supply and demand. Because if there's a lot of families trying to be in a specific school district because maybe there's high ratings, of course, there's going to be this rush to buy the homes in that surrounding area where that's the base school. And so that's going to drive the price up. So you will typically find that in a particular area where there are well-known schools, that rank higher, the pricing of the homes will be more expensive. So is it something to think about? It is. But you have to remember, too, that, it doesn't mean that someone won't, when it comes to reselling, buy the home that you're in because maybe it's not a top-rated school, because maybe that's not as important for the next buyer. Or maybe, a higher price point isn't feasible for the next buyer. So it's something to think about, but it's not an end all of be all, right? Just like you, the school districts aren't important right now because you haven't gotten to that point, where you have children and you're thinking about what school do I send them to. For some buyers we work with, that's a must. As far as top rated schools or I need to be in this specific school district, but that's not a must for everyone. And, so I know that you are at the point of, thinking about buying a home. And so, but remember, every home, again, will sell at the right price. So I'm assuming the home that you're interested in buying, you need to make sure that you just pay fair market value for it. And so at that point, as long as you do, you don't have to worry about future resale and really how that, directly corresponds with the school district. So Trish, it sounds like I mentioned, you're looking to buy a home, and we would love to share with you what's called our home buying guide. The whole point of the guide is just to walk you through the steps from start to finish, take you through just everything along the way, just to make sure that there's no surprises and you're well aware of the process.
You've been listening to the Savvy Realtor Podcast. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Angie Cole. She's the owner and broker in charge of A. Cole Realty here in the Triangle. And if you have questions for Angie, we invite you to go online to acolerealty.com. Listen to past podcast episodes on the website, read the blog, and all the great information, including the option to find a home right there on the website. That's acolerealty.com. And you can also call Angie with your questions, 919-578-3128.